Welcome to Center of Light Foundation. You already know, we are the tribe, we are the nation of light. Trying to simply get it right. Give me a second. Always technology stuff. Perfect. Welcome to Center of Light Foundation. Tonight we're speaking about humility. Everything's backwards. Humility. Feeling it. This is part number 3 in a 4-part series. The first installment was Into the Fire, Passion. I think it was last night, was Sincerity, Meaning it. Oh my God, I mean it. I'm so sincere, I mean it to every ounce of spiritual, oozy goodness in me. I mean it. Tonight is, so to speak, falling a little deeper, a little different, maybe a little graduated level, if you will. Humility. Humility, though these are all equal parts in 4 parts of a whole, humility has its own bang. The true church of God is humility. It's not Christianity. It's not Buddhism. It's not Jewish. It's not Jainism. It's not Muslim. It's not Hinduism. It's humility. It serves all equally. It's a church of God. Being of service. Humility. What is humility? Opening the door for someone, and not just open it because it's the thing to do. Open the door for someone because it's all about you finding that state of rest, assurance, insurance, reoccurrence, opportunity after opportunity to be humble. Something looks a little weird, but we're going to leave it as it is. So tonight we're speaking about humility and feeling it. Again, I want to dedicate tonight's show to Robert Harrison, dear friend of mine. Never met the man, but I've known him forever. He's not doing so well. And according to diagnosis, he's not going to make it. But he's going to make something else, that's for sure. He's going to stir up a lot of trouble in heaven, or in the spiritual planes, heaven. Let's talk a little bit more about what we're going to explore, as well as what we went over the last 2 nights. Passion, Into the Fire. It's always about the fire of the God, the Yah. Last night was about sincerity. We're going to recap those before we move into tonight's presentation on humility. Passion is the fire. It's the like sexual energy. That want, that drive, that desire for climax, for ambrosia, for the zenith of things. Passion is the active. Sincerity is the passive. Passion has more of a dominant male tone, and sincerity has a dominant female tone. Sincerity is like a brand new baby sister. Let's get to passion. Passion is, I've done some mechanic work in my life. My brother needs his truck fixed. Roll up your sleeves and get your hands in the engine, and you got grease and grime under your fingernails. That's passion. I'm going to fix this truck for my brother. Sincerity is, my brother needs his truck. Do you see the obvious simple difference? 2 different sides of the same coin. My brother's truck needs to be fixed. Let me see what I can remember from my old mechanic days. And you get grime and grease under your nails, and you're in there, your sleeves are rolled up, and you got monkey grease all over your face. That's passion. I'm going to get in there and fix his truck. Sincerity is, my brother needs his truck. He has 3 children, a wife that he has to take care of. He has a job. Big difference. Sincerity also can be painted as a picture of a brand new sister born, niece. That's sincerity. It sits there in all of its beauty and all of its specialness, softly as the bed for the entire universal infrastructure. That's sincerity. Passion is a powerful driving force that fuels our deepest desires and motivates us to pursue our goals with determination and enthusiasm. It's an intense emotion that ignites a fire within us, compelling us to channel our energy towards something we truly care about. This is a recap of 2 presentations ago, which you can find here on Facebook or on YouTube, or you can contact me, I'll send it to you. This 4 series that costs you nothing except to pay attention. Last night we were talking about sincerity. Recap. Sincerity is a quality that is often praised and valued in individuals. It refers to the genuineness, that real spot that I've been speaking about just a minute ago. Honesty and authenticity of a person's thoughts, feelings, and actions. It is a trait that is admired for its ability to establish trust, build strong relationships, and foster a sense of community. Tonight is center of like humility. If you implement these 4 qualities in this 4 installment series called 4 Elements for Success: money, spiritual escrow, as above, so below, on forever it will go, sis bro, yo. Passion, sincerity, tonight is humility, feeling it, and vulnerability, which will be coming soon. Vulnerability is exposing your core as the Christ. Take me, I'm yours. I have nothing to be ashamed about. I am vulnerable. Scary space, wonky place. It's the greatest grace is to be yourself, not only just full in. I understand being an introvert. Somehow, somewhere, you can choose to let that out. And a big explosion, a big creation, big bang of you. And the universe will resound. Tonight is humility. Humility is a virtue that is often undervalued in today's society. It is the quality of being humble and modest, and it involves recognizing and accepting everyone's limitations and imperfections. Humility is often associated with a sense of self-awareness. This is what this entire 4 installment series is about. It's about becoming self-aware in these 4 quantum levels of self. I'm serious. The engine is turned on inside of me. I'm about to stomp on this accelerator, this gas, this fuel. Sincerity is, I'm going to put on my seatbelt. I need to be aware. Humility is a virtue. Humility is often associated with a sense of self-awareness, where an individual acknowledges their strengths and their weaknesses and remain grounded even in moments of great success or failure. It's not about the wobble. That is the space of humility. It's the church of God. We'll get more to that in a moment. The importance of humility in our lives and how it can positively impact our relationships, work, and personal growth should interest everyone. At its core, humility is about recognizing that we are interconnected and interdependent beings. It allows us to acknowledge the contributions of others and appreciate their worth, rather than seeking to dominate or control them. This is particularly important in our personal relationships, where humility can help us to listen more attentively to our loved ones and empathize with their perspectives. It can also help us to recognize our own faults and mistakes and seek forgiveness. That's that sincerity again. when necessary, which can lead to stronger and more resilient relationships. Humility is also essential in the workplace. In a professional setting, humility can help us to work effectively with others and avoid conflicts. It can also foster a sense of collaboration and teamwork where individuals are willing to share ideas and take constructive feedback from others. This can lead to increased productivity because everybody's now on the same team. It becomes a more efficient machine where the all benefits. One is the all is the one. This can lead to increased productivity and better outcomes for the organization as a whole. Moreover, humility can contribute to personal growth and development. By recognizing our own limitations and accepting our imperfections, we become more open to learning and growth. We are willing to seek feedback from others and make changes to improve ourselves. We have to be passionately about doing that and very sincerely about just wanting, just that simple, I don't mean the desire with that. I mean it. I'm serious about this. And it requires both parts. It requires the fire, the active, and it also requires the baby sister, the passive or the inactive. However, humility does not mean that we should lack self-confidence or ambition. Rather, it is about balancing our sense of self-worth with recognition of our place in the world. Nobody can be me and nobody can be you. Together we are we. This is the specialness of coming together in that interdependent relationship. Humility allows us to appreciate our accomplishments without becoming arrogant or self-centered. It also allows us to accept our failures, setbacks without becoming discouraged or defeated. Humility is a powerful virtue that can positively impact every aspect of our lives. By cultivating humility, we can become more compassionate, empathetic, and self-aware, which can lead to a greater sense of fulfillment and purpose for everyone on God's green, blessed earth. If you're not one as of yet to open the door for people, or just simply letting someone pass and finding that space, if you're not in a good space in your life right now, and you don't know what to do this. Be kind. Not that you're not kind. Go out in your way. Go in your way to find the way for not only yourself, but the excuse of a person that we use to find ourselves. Let someone pass before you. Make it a habit. Open the door for people. Even wait 30 seconds if you have to, if they are coming in with a crutch or a walker, versus let the next guy get it. You get it. I get it. We get it. So let's get it. What it does in such a space of humility, you automatically stand at the altar of God's church, which is humility. And when you begin this practice and you begin to integrate it, you begin feeling it. Standing before the presence of the Absolute, the Father, the Mother. This is what humility not can do, it is. It's such humility that's bringing all of this together and sustaining it forever. It's all these components. God is passionate. I mean, God is passionate. And that very passion, that fire lives here. God is so sincere. Nothing could have come about if God was not sincere in its passion about bringing you and I to this point of having this conversation right here, right now. Without such, nothing could ever exist ongoingly. God is humble. Jesus washed the feet of Thomas. Buddhist monks, their whole life they walk around like this in service and compassion and humility. How can I help? How can I help? These people are so non-violent. God is vulnerable. Again, Christ Jesus exposed his core. God is vulnerable. It's everywhere. There's nothing that is hidden. Some things may take passion, sincerity, and humility to find, but God is completely vulnerable. It's all exposed. But if we're looking for that exposure of the core of creation itself out here, we can't find it. It's impossible to find because the core of creation is not there. It's here. In here, what that thing is, which is beyond anything at all, creates worlds and universes. So the core of God is at the core of your very self. I am in my Father's in me, and I am in you. Seek not here or there. Look low, look there. Whatever the scripture is, seek not here or there. For the kingdom of God is within you. So the core is in all of us. And we can never get to the majesty of absolution until we make friends, make amends with the finite, puny little self that we think we are, which actually we aren't at all. This is the process. Humility is the key that opens up the gate even wider and says, and there is no Saint Peter there saying, Saint Peter, let me in. I get it. It's a beautiful allegory, beautiful children's story, Dr. Seuss, or whatever you want to call that stuff. It's not what it is. Humility is the church of God. There is no even or odd. It's not Christian. It's not Buddhist. It's not Muslim. It's not any of that hello Nori love. I love Nori love. It's not any of that. There is no creed, code, walk, talk, or sect that has a monopoly on God. So, the quickest way we can get to the absolution of things is to be humble. And it's applicable to every walk of life. Raise your vibration by lowering yourself. Humility is all about dropping down as a genuflect, a reverence, a posture. Let me read this to you, and I just popped into my head on genuflect. Ironically, we raise ourselves in exaltation when we lower ourselves in expectation. Almost down, you can do this as monks do, but even so, that you may not be on your knees, it's a posture of being on your knees, humble-wise, genuflect. Divine alignment happens when one acknowledges, integrates, and lives the supreme truth. What is the supreme truth? Fall within, for it is there waiting on your sweet soul surrender. Humility. True humility, if you are practicing it, we get a lot of books that say, do this, and that. And if you have extra time, add this to the lot. I get it. They've served me. They've served many of us well. Well, now we're in a place, a space, the grace that is no longer necessary. If you follow such models like these four I'm giving in these 4 installments for 4 elements to success, 4 elements to liberation, 4 elements to whatever in creation that you want for yourself, you can break this down in the wholeness of 4 components. Passion. You have to have some fire in your backside. You have to have fire in the belly, be so clear in the mind that the fire of God moves through the crystal clear, hopefully, mind from the fire of God, crystal clear mind. And when you humble yourself to that practice that I just described, oh my God, you are more freeing and allowing of yourself to expose your core, which is vulnerability. Because now you've mixed and merged and mingled with what the light is in your humility. Passion is, I have a desire. Sincerity is, please, I mean it. Humility is connecting to the divine mind. And if you want it to truly manifest in your life, in the merging of the divine mind, when the whole thing goes clink, that's when you expose your creation that you're calling to yourself. Money, wealth, partnership, beyond this world, watching a star being born, to bilocate, whatever it is you choose to do. This is a way, a lifestyle that if you begin to implement now, between now and however long you can remain conscious of these models, you will shave miles off of your infinite, could be, spiritual journey. I use these every day and I'm getting pretty darn proficient at it. The gate is no longer opening for me. There is no more gate. And as I quote, look back, all I see is hinges. A presentation I did quite a few years ago, the beginning of Rona, about humility. As I was setting this up, something said, go to YouTube. And Keith, I think you did a presentation. I did. And it's about how humility is the church of God. Practice being passionate, sincere, being humble to everything in creation. Wash the feet of Thomas. You Christed one you. And expose your core to the world. And you will go down in the Hall of Records, the Akashic Hall of Records, as an illumined one. Isn't that what you want? It is what I want. You and I may want two different things. Even if it's simply described to you as joy. Employ this idea. The Church of God. Humility is the church. You want to raise your vibration beyond the nonsense of the world? The Rona, the G as in 5, and all that crap. Humility. Humility will launch you through the ceiling of thought, the ceiling of nonsense, and to the dealing of that which makes the most sense, which is to stand in the presence of your divine Father. He wants nothing from you. Nothing. In fact, it is so unconditionally loving. It wants so much nothing from you. It allows, accepts you, and appreciates you just as you are. And because it's eternal, there is no time sequence. There is no reason for you to hurry up your gait towards the gate where it's said to find St. Peter. It's not what it is. You can take your time. You can enjoy being human. I enjoy being human. I do. Because I understand. I connect. I understand that this will never end. There is no time signature. There's no clock. The only clock that exists is when you look at one and go, oh my God, I've been having fun with my friends for hours. Literally hours. But what time is it? You look at the clock and then reality sets in. And it feels heavy. Center of light tonight, humility. Dear Lord, humility. What a beautiful word. Have you ever looked at a Buddhist monk? Though Buddhism is not Christianity, a lot of people, nothing against Christianity, but just as it is spelled out and laid out, people in the staunch Christianity look down upon Buddhism. So we're not going to judge Christianity or that sect of Christianity that does that, but let's call it for what it is. Buddhists are always in this posture. I am here to be of service. I love you. How can I help? They don't take things personally. They're in the field. They're in the field of energy because they feel the energy. They're always in humility. In fact, they live their life probably more so to make this point than any other religion. maybe other than Muslim, I love it. They're hunkered in. They want some love. They want some God. They call it Allah. It doesn't matter. Because in France, they don't call a rabbit in France a rabbit. They call it lapin. So we are all engaged for a better reason. But Buddhists, they're always humble. Always humble. You know why? Because they see. They understand the door opens even greater and even wider. Wow, I love it so much. It opens even greater and even wider in such a humility because they understand that humility is the church standing in the presence of God. I promise you. Cocky's cool. It's part of the human experience. I get it. I understand that word. I understand that delivery, reality, and agenda. When we're done with all that, there's something called humility that will truly be a lightsaber, if you will. Hang on, I got to do this just because it's fun. A lightsaber that will split you in half when you're in humility. And in the splitting in half of what you think you are, the good and the bad, the right, the wrong, the in, the out, the up and the down, the holy, the blasphemous, becomes birth a new thing. And that new thing is the greatest possibility. Everything from your past, this point forward to your past is a story. Everything from this point forward is a beautiful, infinite possibility. Tonight we're speaking about humility. My gosh. Standing in the presence of God. Anytime you get a giddy feeling, a little happy feeling, joy, even if you're a little puppy dog tails wagging, God is at least kissing you on your face, at least winking at you. You have to believe this. There is no other way. This is not magic. This is not woo-woo. This is about you believing in a beautiful possibility. Always. So much so that you integrate it. And every time you walk, every time you step, a note from the song of beautiful possibility sounds off. Welcome back to Center of Light. This is what we're talking about tonight. I love this thing. Thank you, Robert Harrison. This is my theme. Clarity, clarity, clarity. The world is in its conundrum because of a lack of clarity. So we're speaking about being so clear of mind that we have no other desire but to stand in the presence of God, and suddenly through the silence, heaven and earth, the new world, God appears. We become present with our Father. It looks just like that. There is nothing else you have to do. There's work involved, mind you, to become conscious of that which is all around you. In fact, it's not all around you. It is you. It sustains your very life. So tonight we're speaking about Center of Light humility. Being soft. Really soft. If your life is not soft, then you harden yourself somewhere. Any aspect of your life that is hard on you, you have been hard on you and not soft on yourself. So I'm going to move into the reading segment from the Divine Principle. Hello, Sparks Paco from South Africa. If we are not friends, I'm coming to find you and I'm going to stalk you. So I'm going to go see my friend. And I just added them as a friend. You're my friend now. Hello, Sparks Paco. So tonight we're speaking about Center of Light humility. I'm going to read you something from the Divine Principle, my bestseller. Yes, it's a shameless plug. I do have to eat. But from the Divine Principle about standing in the presence of God. Humility. This happened in 1996. Spirit says, keep in mind, this happened in 1996. This is so present day. Hello, quarantine. Spirit says, as the earth becomes enveloped in higher energies, that is exactly what's happening right now. Whoever does not take full advantage of the opportunity for balance, that this situation presents will surely regret it. Mark my word, when negative things begin to happen to you, you will not find it at all pleasing, and unlike in the past, this time you will have no choice but to respond. The fact of the matter is, the longer you avoid dealing with your unresolved issues, the more difficult they will become to resolve. Your best move is to stay ahead of the game, or at the very least, to stay on top of things. And I ask the question to Spirit, how do we do that? First, put my love into your daily practice by meditating and by following your heart. Second, integrate all I have spoken about since the beginning of this transmission, meaning the book, and apply those teachings to your life. You need to buy this book. It's such a phenomenal book, not because I wrote it, because when I read it, I'm grateful, and therefore I'm standing in the presence of my Father. Third, realize that one supreme loving God motivates everything in the universe. Acknowledging my presence in these ways will help you to heighten your awareness, and you will empower yourself to improve your life. I guarantee you will love what unfolds. As I bite my finger. So now I'm going to read you an experience that took place. Though this happened in the year 2000, I wrote this book from a present vantage point so my readers and my audience can experience what I was experiencing at the moment it was happening. This is the entire chapter. Short, but it is a chapter about this beautiful thing that happened to me, standing in the presence of God. This is not a showboat or a show off, but I want to show you something that happens when you are passionate, sincere, humble, and vulnerable. How could I not be when you came to me in a dream and it all just happened? It all just happened. I became clear in said moment. And in a holy instant, I was in the magical presence. So I want to now describe to you the best I can. What was that like? This is probably going to take 5 minutes, so we are blessed beyond measure. This is from a chapter from this book called Swinging Back and Forth. And these are my first thoughts as I woke up in the morning at 4:20 in the morning, ready to beat my feet towards Kulwant Hall, where God is going to come out and give darshan, which means blessing of a holy man. Here are my first thoughts for the day. That I picked up my tape recorder, and this is what I said. Today feels like about expansion. Today feels to be about expansion. Why am I up so early, stretching out my arms and letting out a big yawn? After I make my way over to the bathroom for a quick groom, I hit the door running. Why am I running down the street, and where am I going? It seems that my feet know, but I don't. Time goes by, and then here's a quote from people. Saidam, why are you running so fast, and where are you going? Ask one of two men sitting on the curb. I respond, I have no clue, feeling somewhat lost in a dream. How do these people seem to know everything throughout my entire journey? Everyone along the way for 2 days in transit knew. They freaking knew. It was amazing. I have no clue, feeling somewhat lost in a dream. And the response is, we know, says the other smiling. And I say or ask, to myself, how do these people seem to know everything? And one guy says, come, sit here. Okay. And I say, why are you both waiting here, and what's in that room? I ask, panting, because I just got finished running for 15 minutes. We are waiting here for Supabharatam. That will happen in there, says both of them together, pointing in a room. Supabharatam, yes. I was told by someone else that Sai Baba would lead me here if I asked him, because I heard about it. And I say, or ask, is it a cool experience? And they say, yes, Saram, very cool. Your journey to the ashram would not be complete unless you came to this, says the second man. Very soon, people will begin to flood the streets, going to Kuwant Hall. This is what I'm saying. You came at the right time, so he says, Saram, how long do we wait before we go inside? I ask. How long do we wait before I go inside? I ask. He says, we will wait here for about an hour or so. And I say to the guy, do you mind if I lean against this wall and get a little shut-eye? He says, Saidam, what? Asked the second gentleman. Would you mind if I got some rest until it's time to go in? I say, realizing they didn't understand my lingo. Oh no, Saidam, go and lean against the wall, get your rest. An hour later, Saidam, you might want to wake up now. People are starting to get in line. It won't be long before we go into the room for Supabharatam, says the first man. Wiping my eyes, I stand up to brush the dirt off of my derriere. So when the doors open, someone says, everyone come this way. Shh, no talking, and do not look at the women. And they probably said that the same to the women about the men. You will sit here on one side while they sit on the other. No distractions, says the man who just opened the door to let us all in. In a single file line, about 30 men begin to pile, women as well, into the room. Taking my seat, I begin to look around. Whoa, this is amazing. Not believing what I am seeing and feeling. Not only am I fortunate to experience Sai Baba in the ashram, I am blessed to experience the Godhead, the temple, in physical form. Again, this is where words only sully the sacred, soil the sacred. Everything in this temple is the holiest of holy and has been seen by only few compared to the masses. So in this moment, I am feeling like one very blessed man. Inside this room, there's an actual chariot and a real life statue of a beautiful white horse. Jesus comes back on a white horse. There are also large pictures of Krishna, Arjuna, Sai Baba of Shirdi, and Sathya Sai Baba that don the walls. Fragrant flowers are everywhere. There's no place more sacred than this on earth, I say to myself. In here, in this Supabharatam room, the year 2000, in here, the divine energy in here, that room, the divine energy is so apparent and visible that it actually hurts to look upon anything when I am not in no thought mode. And it seems that the only way I can see anything clearly is when I intend to go within and humble myself. The sacred church of Christ is called humility. Musicians begin to play and everyone in the room begins to sing. Since I don't know the words or what's going on, I'll wait to learn the melody and hum on the next round. After about 15 minutes of music, the room becomes still. Be still and know that I am God. When we are still, then we can become aware of the presence of God, standing in the presence of God. After about 15 minutes of music, the room becomes still, filled with a silence I have never experienced in my life. You ready for this? Sounds the gold bell, and after 35,000 people in Kuwait Hall begin to chant 21 ohms. I say to myself, oh my dear God, what is happening? It feels like the breath of God is moving through me as this little room and my heart begins to resonate like a tuning fork. I can't seem to describe it except that I hear this loud buzzing sound and I see bright light. But there's something else and I have no idea what it is. My physical body seems to be disappearing, like it is melting away, revealing only my essence. I am in such a state of awe and humility, the church, that I can feel my connection to the entire universe. And now that there is no distortion, wow. And now that there's no distortion in me, I can see everything in here perfectly too. When the last of the 21 ohms are chanted, it's over. And just like that, everyone get up, it's time to leave. Shh, no talking, says the man who opened the door to let us in. I cannot begin to describe what happened in that room. In fact, the only thoughts I am having, I'm logging into my tape recorder. But I can tell you that I'm feeling blissful and overwhelmed. The church of God. Do I dare? Yes, I do. What is the absolute church of God? Yanava. It's not Christianity. It's not Buddhism. It's not Hinduism. It's not Jainism. It's not Sikhism. It is humilityism. That's the church of God, because it applies across the board to everyone and everything. The church of God is humility. Yes, what can I do to help? Yes, what can I do to help? Yes, what can I do to help? It's your own sacrifice. We're still human. We get boogered and bothered. Center of light humility, standing in the presence of God. I know many of you in this room because I watch you. I'm creepy. No, I watch you. I watch your posts. I watch what you're about. And many of you often, as I do, and many of us, stand in the presence of God by living of service. Be of service. Start with yourself. Service yourself. But Keith, I'm in quarantine. No, you're not. You're a liberated soul. You're free. You can service others simply by servicing yourself. It always starts there. Always starts there. Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight is installment number 3 in a series of four elements to success. abundance, relationship, God, which is all of that. So why not just cut through the chase? Success, what is God? It's joy. You can even be an atheist and still receive the blessings of the absolution, creator, God, whatever that is, the infinite unified field. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. It only requires very little of you, because back in the days of the darker ages, so to speak, Jesus and before, these masters, they were so passionate to puncture holes on the stronghold that the devil, quote, had on the throat of the world at that time. But they did it, and they lit it. So, in these 4 installments of my presentations a few days ago, very soon, probably Thursday, I'm going to do installment number 4, maybe even Wednesday night, which is vulnerability. So we have passion, God. Universe does not even start can begin to think to start without God's passion to say, you know what? I'm monkeying around with ideas, but it makes the point. I want to create a universe. And you have to fire up the charcoals. So God got his charcoals fired up. And he's going to create a spiritual stake, if you will. Because everything's at stake. And in such sincerity, nothing is at stake, because there's an integration in all of us that happens. It says, I'm beginning to integrate my passion, which is what I truly deserve. No more swerve about what we were taught and bought into the nonsense of those before us and or those around us. It can compound us and profound us into nonsense. But the profundity of it all happens in humility. Civility with the self. It can be tough for many people to simply take the posture of you're not broken, you're perfect. You may not be receiving, likely from not believing what you're worth. Deluge or dearth, it comes and goes. And it's up to all of us, through all of our successes or woes, to reflect on truly owning what we chose. These are all ideas. Passion. You got to want something divinely. There's no way it's not going to happen. That kind of muster. Cojones, balls, tits, all that stuff. The grits. You have to mean it. Then you have to humble yourself to open up the gate to God itself, the church. And once we make that connection, then we can begin to express ourselves in exposing the core of who we are. There is no other teaching that can serve you any better. It's not a pat on my back. It's a pat on all of our backs that we've achieved a place beyond which was always about lack to a space of congrats. This is where we are. Thank you for being my teacher as you allow me the time to sit here and express myself and simply, publicly play with ideas. Ideas. Passion, sincerity, passion into the fire. What you know is going to have to die before you can ever become so sincere and ever so dear and ever so near to your divine creator. And when you mean that, then you begin to feel that via your humility. We gain civility with ourselves. I am okay with being myself now. It took me many years to take off my clothes on a nude beach. And you expose your core. Wonky and scary at first, it will be. But after about 5 or 10 minutes, When no one looks at you any differently than anyone else, you realize, oh my God, I could have jumped out of this airplane many years ago. Expose yourself to the world. Shine, you crazy diamond. You are loved beyond measure.